It is April 29th, 2021. It is Erev Lag BaOmer. So today is the 32nd day of the counting of the Omer. Every day, even when you count every day deliberately, it still seems to go quickly. Along with the counting of the Omer between Passover and Shavuot, these 7 weeks of 7 days, each with a different energy that brings us from liberation to, the climax of our story, receiving Torah. We've been reading Pirkei Avot, adding a Mishnah each day, starting with Mishnah 1 and of chapter 1, and now we're in chapter 2, and today, I'm telling you, it doesn't happen by accident. Today we are chapter 2, Mishnah 3. It tells us, very often the authorities pretend to be your friends. They might say nice things, but they don't really care about you. And last night, while the president was speaking, the Missouri legislature met and voted against the will of the people. The Missouri Republicans, only Republicans, put politics and self-interest over the will of the people. We voted as a state to fund and to expand Medicaid. And last night, they voted to defund it. During the president's speech, 230,000 Missourians will be denied life-saving health care because they put politics over people and democracy. And this Mishnah says they do not stand by individuals at the time of distress. I mean, really, somebody's paying attention. So let's offer a Misha Berach, because it's going to be a lot more sick people. Certainly we're praying for the people of India and the people across the world that are suffering from COVID. We're praying for the people right here who are suffering from COVID. we need to pay attention to all the people that we have been asked to pray for, to send out energies. So for all the people you hold in your hearts, we especially send out a lot of love to Spruce Frazier. Her mother, who we've been praying for, did pass away, and I know she was with her on Skype, but couldn't be with her in person, which is always hard. So for Sam, for Alex, for Alec, for all the people that you are holding in your hearts, for Joko and Amy, for Claire Pasternak, thank you, Suzanne. For
the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body, for the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body for those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael, at my left, the angel Gabriel, in front of me, the angel Uriel, behind me, the angel Raphael, above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head, Shekhinah. Michael, who's like God, Gabriel, God is my strength, Uriel, God is my light, Raphael, God is my healer, above my head, above my head, above my head, Shekhinah, Shekhinah. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Great healer. Bring healing. And for learning. This learning has really rooted us, given us a practice each day. To remind us we can do this a day at a time.
Make the words of your teaching pleasant on our lips, the lips of all of those that come onto our screens, so we can spend a time in learning for pleasure and for its implications. Ma'aseh Yadeinu, the works of our hands, what we know becomes what we do, what we know to what we do, what we know to what we do. We may become an influence overflowing, a fountain overflowing, a fountain. All of us learning in this way, and also for nothing, for its own sake, for the purity of it, the clarity of it, purification of learning. Baruch atah Adonai melamed ohalei amo Yisrael. Blessed are you who teaches to your people in this fashion.
Amen. 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 So, let's look at this Mishnah. Chapter 2, Mishnah 3. On this 32nd day, 32 is also a holy number. It's Lamed Bet, which is Lev, right?
32 hidden
Heart.
paths of wisdom.
And there are 32 hidden paths of wisdom. And it spells Lev,
the 22
heart.
letters and the 10
Sphirot.
elementals.
Yeah. So today's the
What are the
day.
elementals, Sherlock? The 10 elementals.
Yeah. So this, and it's interesting to me that this, how we say that every Mishnah is in the name of someone.
That's right.
Well, not this one.
Not this one.
So it says to me that it's connected maybe to the one before it.
Absolutely.
Where we learned yesterday that the
we don't
study
know.
of Torah, when it's combined with derech eretz, right? A derech eretz, whether it's the way that you walk in the world, your common sense, your work, your daily work, right? Only when they are combined together can you avoid sin, right? And those who occupy themselves with the community must always do so l'shem shamayim, for the sake of heaven. Why? Because look what happens in this Mishnah.
Yeah.
This is so relevant for today, right? Especially for people who are activists, people who work in the community for the sake of the community. What does it say?
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful, be cautious. That's the first word, right? Be careful. With who? The ruling authorities.
The power.
Because they only
powers that
befriend
be.
a person for their own sake. You cannot trust people in power who have power. They may appear as friends when it is to their advantage, but they do not stand by the individual at the time of the person's distress. Why? Not because they're not good people, but because, well, some of them are not good people, but because they get wrapped up, they get sucked into the institutionalized systems that choose power over people, that choose politics over people. That's definitely what happened last night in the legislature, and they didn't even care to hide it, right? So they don't care about people.
Oh, we've just come out of such a dark period of this.
Yeah, right. And you know, I
But on the other hand,
Yeah,
last night seemed to mark
it was a
an
different
end.
speech. Well, at least
It's an
Biden's
end to
speech.
that.
Right. Right. Yeah,
But
we
you know,
do have to
here,
be careful,
The
right?
verb is don't draw near. Don't
Draw near, right?
You'd be tempted
Beautiful.
to, because everybody that
Everybody
draws
wants a
near
little power,
to
right?
the previous set of incompetence
Yeah.
will be drawn down.
That's what you said this morning. We were talking
Everybody
about that,
draws
about the
near.
people who chose, he who will not be named, chose to attach to him.
They're going down.
I hope so.
That's what this mission is about.
They'll go down.
Them,
So be
you're
careful.
going down.
Be careful. It may look like it's to your advantage. And my dad is 95 years old. He has said to me for as long as I can remember, he said, Susan, it would be to my advantage to vote with the Republicans, but I will never, ever do that because it's just for financial advantage. It's not for the values, the things that I believe in. So even though it may not be for his advantage, we gotta believe that there are people who put people first, right? And don't attach themselves to people who only care about self-interest. And I think it's a good litmus test for today, right?
You betcha, baby.
So be careful. They may appear as friends when it's to their advantage,
Appear is right.
but they do not stand by the individual.
They appear
Which
like
is what matters, right? What matters is every single person. The people matter. The person that's suffering, the person that needs that Medicaid expansion, right? The person that needs a little job training, right? To get independent. They will not stand by the individual at the time of that person's distress if it's not to their advantage. So that's Mishnah 3 of chapter 2,
You got that right.
right? And tomorrow we're back to Rabban Gamliel, but I do think that those two Mishnayot, 2 and 3, go together. Remembering that you need both. You need learning and you need derech eretz, common sense, in your work, in your daily, whatever it is you do, day to day to day. So.
Don't you
think?
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of their distress, they will not stand by you.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, this has
happened.
happened again and again and again. Because, the rule, that's why protesters, and that's why community workers, that's why the people are the most important part of a democracy, because they hold those people in power in check. No one is above.
We're counting. We're into the 5th week. That means we're into the week of Hoda'ah, Todah.
Gratitude.
Some sort of beauty, grateful and humble.
Glory.
How difficult might it have been last week? That elusive triumphalism. You do not think of it independently from this week. Hod, they're bonded together more than other dyads of the Sephirotic system, the elementals. Netzach, a triumphalism with its complement, Hod, humble and beauteous. And we learned this out from Bar Yochai, who's we celebrate tonight.
Right.
Bar Yochai's holiday, Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer tonight. Bar Yochai, who learned humility from his teacher Akiva said to him, "It's enough that myself, your teacher, and God know your excellence. That's enough." And Akiva had to teach his student this He ordained Rabbi Meir first. Bar Yochai wanted to be first. Kiva said, the want is your problem. Need is your problem.
Right.
So I will take Meir first. You will be second.
Right.
To learn the necessary humility of this day. Hod, humble and beauteous, always remembering to make the road ahead a spiritual experience. Chesed, love, gevura, restraint, tiferet, beauty. Netzach, you think you know, Hod, you don't. Yesod, foundation in the body. Malchut, the spigot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom, 32 yom shehem 4 shvuot ו4 yamim la'omer. Today is day 32 of the Omer, which is 4 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. April 29th, 2021. Bless our president, our vice president, our new mayor, and all their noble retinue. The counting of the Omer is taught by Randy Newman, Paul Simon, Joni Prince, Richard Thompson, and Ben Bagbag. Fountain, its origins, love, chesed, loving kindness, overflowing, negotiations by gevura, restraint, lifted up and balanced into tiferet, beauty. With netzach, this time ready, second pass, you think you know, you don't know. Looking for soul in Hod, settling into synthesis, Yesod in your slacks. With Malchut, the spigot is yours. Turn it. Don't turn it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. So it's a day of anticipation. So what will be tomorrow? What are the energies tomorrow for Lag BaOmer? What will it be?
Tomorrow will be tomorrow is Yesod in Hod.
Yesod in Hod. That's good.
The wisdom in your body wisdom.
Yeah. And you know the custom of we say a little bit about Lag BaOmer that begins tonight. In Israel, there are bonfires. One of the traditions is that a great plague
Was
How about that?
stayed.
Yeah, a great plague was stopped on Lag BaOmer.
Rabbi Akiva had 24,000 students, and they were dying.
From the plague, from the pandemic.
Ascora, some sort of
Yeah.
breathing throat problem.
Hello.
And it was stayed on Lag BaOmer, which is also Bar Yochai's yahrzeit. And in the Zohar, it tells us that Bar Yochai let it be known when he died, he wanted his yahrzeit, the anniversary of his passing, to be a hilula, a celebration.
Right.
I want it to be a celebration, Bar Yochai said. So the mourning customs that are associated with this period are suspended on Lag BaOmer only. No, haircuts,
You can
music.
cut your hair, you can
marriage.
have music, you can make
And Molly, when did you
weddings.
get married? I got married on Lag
Lag
BaOmer.
BaOmer.
You got married on Lag BaOmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find a rabbi. We went everywhere, couldn't find a rabbi. Because it was Lag BaOmer. So you didn't get married on Lag BaOmer? No, we found a rabbi. I got married on Lag BaOmer. Oh, okay.
Right. Because it's the one day, because of that history, because of that story, it's the one day you're permitted.
Who did
And
you
for-
marry, Aunt Molly? Henry,
Oh,
your first
her
marriage.
first husband. Then she married George, who was kind of a rogue.
Shh. Hold on. Careful there.
Okay. So a little Bar Yochai to end. Let's sing a little Bar Yochai. And I'll say this again at the end, but tomorrow morning we're going to begin early. We're going to begin at 9, right? We're going to begin at 9 tomorrow morning. we have to start early because we need to be somewhere. So we're going to start early.
Bar Yochai
I love this melody.
Nimshach Ashrecha Shemen Sasom Mechaverecha Bar Yochai Atzeshitim Omdim Limudei Adonai Lomdim Bar Yochai. The trees, the Shittim trees, are standing. They study the laws of God. Hem lomdim.
It's shittim. Yeah, the bonfires. So they're... We hope it doesn't rain tonight so that people can have their bonfires, and we hope that somehow working together this plague, as it did once before, will end, especially where people are most suffering. So thanks for joining us on this April 29th, 2021, on this 32nd day of the counting of the Omer, where we also offered these wonderful Mishnayot from Pirkei Avot. Now we're in chapter 2. And again, tomorrow morning, we will be back, Im Yirtzeh Hashem, Inshallah.
Inshallah.
But at 9 o'clock. We'll come on early tomorrow
Maybe even
morning.
a few minutes earlier.
Maybe even a few minutes earlier. We'll do that.
If we can get the herd out early.
That's the dogs.
We have to secure the herd first.
We do. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. We hope it's a great day, a day of light and a day of lift. And
Amen.
Amen.